Why would DeVries betray her fellow agents like that? A rhetorical question. I already know. Just making conversation.
Get to the point and do not vacillate.
Thing down there?
Ah, you must be the, Earth Directorate agent I was told to expect. Your punctuality is commendable. Allow me to welcome you to Golden Ridge. I'm afraid I've no refreshments available, but can I interest you in a customary debate over decidability?
Get to the point and do not vacillate.
As determined, you're listening to Grand Plan Wireless. Transpiring events, philosophical profundities, informed insight into the future.
Yes, the presiding bishop sent word of your imminent arrival. However, due to our need for compartmentalization, she was scant on the details of your mission. That said, I've been instructed to assist you however I can. So, tell me, what brings you to Golden Ridge?
A listener asks, how does prediction work? Well, the intricacies are much too complex for the layperson to grasp, but that's hardly a satisfying answer. Trust Vicar Meg Sci-Sci for a fathomable description that even the shallowest-minded among you might absorb.
Always happy to...
DeVries. Now, why does that name ring familiar? Landon, do you recall a DeVries?
I don't generally concern myself with passers-through. If this DeVries was not a member of the Order, then it's unlikely we ever exchanged maths.
We can assign a value to that constant, leading to a simple-to-use, simple-to-understand life prediction equation. We can use additional points...
You've just described Archivist Victor Clemens on a good day.
What does an Earth Directorate agent want with Archivist Clemens?
life events. And there you go. I knew you'd understand. In fact, I predicted it. Until next time, keep your ears...
Victor Clemens, some kind of radical. What an absurd notion.
I must agree with my seer. I once watched Victor shed copious tears over a damaged datapad. It's difficult to imagine him capable of worse.
Conclusively proven to promote cognitive function.
And that may well be true. But our standard of proof within the Order is not normally met by hearsay alone. Victor's currently supervising highly experimental research at one of our labs to the northwest, the Enray Range, beyond the invaders' front lines. Unfortunately, you'll need to go through the decommissioned autonomous extractorium to reach it. That path is less than safe, so I advise caution. Besides the highly caustic Xeranium River and the Mantisaurs, we've also received reports of mad cultists in the area. It does make me wonder why Victor decided to stay. Victor is dedicated. Single-minded, one could say. I've always thought highly of his analytical skills as a researcher. Less so his social ones, perhaps. Loath as I am to admit it, there may be some merit to your worries over a conspiracy within the Order, whether Victor is involved or not. As my predecessor would remind me, denying unpleasant facts is not good science. I would be remiss if I failed to support an investigation. No doubt you heard of the recent attack launched on that Auntie's Choice base, Outpost Opportunity. It came from one of our facilities, the Zeranium Manufactory. But that facility is intended for research, not military action. I hate thinking an Order member responsible, but given the precision of the attack, it does suggest traitors in our midst. It would undoubtedly benefit both of us to root them out.
Respectfully, Scholar, given current tensions, should we really be trusting such a delicate task to this stranger? Would an internal review of our ranks not be more appropriate? Earth Directorate Agent is just a title. I'd seek to know who you are beyond that bit of headline. Doubtful. Only fools run around proclaiming their intelligence.
I don't dispute the need for discretion, my friend, but the presiding bishop made the determination to send the agent to us. It's best we trust her calculations. Moreover, our situation is growing increasingly dire. I can't overstate my fears concerning this most recent attack ending the ceasefire and reigniting the war in Golden Ridge. One more thing. Your investigation into the traitors takes precedence, but if you could also render aid at Outpost Opportunity on our behalf, such a gesture might preserve the peace. I knew I could rely upon you. Ruth wouldn't have sent you otherwise. Here, take this writ of investigative inquiry. It'll grant you access to the manufactory. Seer Wiley and I will conduct our own inquest into these traitors you've mentioned erstwhile. We can compare notes once you've returned with your findings. Illuminating the path to true erudition is an abbot's moral duty. Whatever I can tell you, I will. That is a statue of the matriarch, Alexandra Varick, Arcadia's founder and for whom the monastery was named after. Regrettably, Alexandra Monastery is closed to non-Order members at the moment, given recent troubles. But perhaps Seer Wiley can give us an estimation of its reopening.
Oh, certainly. According to my calculations, the monastery will be accessible to certain members of the public shortly.
Haha, good news indeed. Oh, you really must visit. The observatory is a true sight to behold.
A calling for those with a greater than average talent for mathematics and computation, particularly in the field of predictive analysis. Yes.
Seer Wiley is being too modest about his contributions. Many in the Order rely on seers for their indispensable counsel. I myself would be lost without mine. Oh, indeed. I needn't educate you on what you can see with your very eyes. There is a great deal of pressure on me to navigate what is a rather novel situation. Without Wiley, I dare say our predicament here would be even more precarious. Many lives depend on him, on us both. Why, Matriarch's Mercy would not be the refuge it is without his predictions shepherding its development.
A measure of history unveils the key.
Both, I should hope. We've been collaborating for many years, and, plan willing, for many more to come. Especially given how very uncertain life in the colony has become.
Please, not so close. I'm aggregating vital time.
No updates on my side of things. Anything I can do to assist you?
Is a part of our progress. How can that be?
Illuminating the path to true erudition is an abbot's moral duty. Whatever I can tell you, I will. Rift worshippers spouting inane theories. They began showing up prior to the invasion. The first sign of dysfunction in the Protectorate always starts small, doesn't it?
Positive externality. A positive externality. A positive externality. One thing.
Have you beheld that new rifle up at the monastery? The Oracle?
The one Barney designed, right? Uses a tracking algorithm, never misses. Sounds
A positive externality. One thing, the irrational term accepted. In the calculation, can it be? Can result in explanations. How can that be? How can that be? How can that be?
On this electrifying
1,068.5 pardons, but my attention is presently 99.81% occupied, coordinating provisions and supplies for the displaced.
objectively and verifiably
I haven't any time for idle chatter, but I suppose I can carve out a moment for urgent business.
experience a surge in stimulation as we visit Praetor, an inhospitable planetoid only made marginally habitable by our grounding station and electrical dispersion rods. The Elysium moon Praetor is as fascinating to the mind as it is mortiferous to the body. Tidally locked in Elysium's shadow, Praetor suffers a distinct deficit of direct daylight. This unique astronomical arrangement bombards Praetor's surface with low-level N-rays, resulting in a shocking level of atmospheric electricity. I will pause for a moment to let you appreciate my intentional pun. Available for review in this episode's transcript's footnotes in case it escaped your attention. Moving on. Only heavily adapted predatory fauna eke out a brutal existence here, relying on their mesmerizing patterns of bioluminescence. We Homo sapiens should ostensibly stand a chance. If not for order astuteness in the field of fulminology, our grounding station and charge dispersal will mitigate the danger posed by Praetor's persistent electrical storms. In lay people's parlance, a network of lightning rods tie into the central grounding station via a combined 307.47 miles of subterranean high-tension wiring, thus providing a conduit for excessive electrical activity in the atmosphere to reach the grounding station, where it's safely dispersed typically. Tenured station operators estimate the system is 78% effective.
What caused the schism between the Protectorate and the Order? The Consul tried to kill presiding Bishop Ruth Bassar, but we saw that.
Reversing the system's polarity will send
Do you believe Arcadia shall ever return to how it
backward
was?
to any rod network. A convenient method to terminate any hostile life forms poking around where they are unwanted. One quick jolt, and they're off to the hereafter. Simply an intriguing possibility to consider as you mull the many fascinating facts behind the Praetor grounding station. Objectively, a notable location of scientific inquiry.
Addendum. Peer review of this episode post-recording revealed the subterranean grounding network is in fact 307.51 miles of wire instead of 307.47 miles as originally reported. We apologize profusely for this careless failure of basic fact-checking. The responsible researchers have been formally censured.
Additional erudite entertainment is forthwith. And now, more music to perform advanced calculations by.
In light of the recent attack on Auntie's Choice, you may want to make haste to Matriarch's Mercy. It's just down the road here. I can't rightly say, and that is rather concerning in its own right. It seems our temporary ceasefire with the corporatists may be at its end. Yes, this was an active war zone until recently, and now seems like it may be so again. Not quite certain why the attack was launched, but that is not under my purview. I'd surmise that when Auntie's Choice realized they couldn't get through our defensive measures, they wisely chose the path of diplomacy. Seems I was mistaken. They must have done something to provoke an attack, which is why your safest path now is the one that leads to Matriarch's Mercy. The Order controls everything south of this point, but the rest is beset with various dangers. Zealots, scavengers, creatures, and corporatists. Well, not certain about that last one anymore after the attack. Cultists, mad to the last one. I believe they worship the rifts or some such. People will turn to anything to ease their discomfort during times of crisis, I suppose. They're both unstable and violent. Auntie's forces call them scrappers, and uses them for just that, gathering scrap materials. Excessive abuse of stimulants has made them severely unbalanced and prone to violence. They've also been known to pose as refugees, to lure their victims into ambushes. There are several camps of them northwest of here. I'd strongly advise keeping your distance. The creatures are of the genus Varachnid. They are large enough to kill a full-grown human, and exceedingly willing to do so.
All our efforts add to the equation.
Interested in receiving our weekly selection of mathematical clues? Visit your local predictor.
Animating crimes, techniques, and uses. Good day and welcome again to Advanced Abstract Algebraics, Section 4, Section 43. Please continue to enjoy the subject music which I have selected today based on arithmetic on my progressions. My name is Edmund Vandersmith, and I am the senior tenured...
This is Grand Plan Wireless, broadcasting soothing tunes for your audio canal and enriching content for your cerebral cortex around the chronometer until we achieve ascension.
Abbot Newell here to impart a message of significant value, conveyed to me by Alexandra Monastery's most trusted conjecturer, Seer Wiley. To all those tossed here... spearheaded by Administrator Agarwal, who I have reliably informed of everything well in... Abbot Newell here to impart a message of significant value, conveyed to me by Alexandra Monastery's most trusted conjecturer, Seer. Abbot Newell here to impart a message of significant value, conveyed to me by Alexandra Monastery's most trusted conjecturer, Seer Wiley. To all those tossed hither and thither by wars... to improve... who I have reliably informed of everything. Return you now to the previously scheduled program. This is Abbot Newell, Alexandra Monastery. Abbot Newell here to impart a message of significant value, conveyed to me by Alexandra Monastery's most trusted conjecturer, Seer. While lean accommodations do persist, the effort to improve conditions is being spearheaded by Administrator Agarwal, I humbly return you now to the previously scheduled program. This is Abbot Newell of Alexandra Monastery, signing off. How is that, Wiley? It's still recording? Oh, how do I stop the...
That is all for now. Until next time, keep hail and mind... Unlike parallel lines, I hope someday we'll meet.
Abbot Newell here to impart a message of significant value, conveyed to me by Alexandra Monastery's most trusted conjecturer, Seer Wiley. To all those tossed hither and thither by war's perilous fluctuations, the Order invites you to seek stability and shelter in Matriarch's mercy. While lean accommodations do persist, the effort to improve conditions is being spearheaded by Administrator Agarwal, who I have been reliably informed has everything well in hand. I humbly return you now to the previously scheduled program. This is Abbot Newell of Alexandra Monastery, signing off. How was that, Wiley? What? It's still recording? Oh, how do I stop the...
Now do carry on. And as always, anticipate and calculate.
Further beneficial content soon follows. Warning, the following song mentions some actions that are improper, something your fractions should never be.
This area to the best of my ability.
I do not believe I've observed you in these trenches before. You are aware this is a war zone, correct? I hope you aren't being transferred here.
An isosceles right triangle. The smaller sides are measured both at once. The length of the longest side then cannot fully be expressed by anyone.
I was unaware our situation had become Halt! Access to that area of this trench line has been restricted to authorized personnel only. It isn't safe, given the rift activity.
Unknown personnel approaching. They don't appear to be hostile.
Across Arcadia, this is Grand Plan Wireless.
You're always always relatable Vicar Mug Sai is here to subvert expectations with an installment of Ask a Vicar that I'm calling Ask a Vicar to Ask a Presiding Bishop. That's right. Presiding Bishop Ruth Bassar is in the studio to answer a listener query, which I will now pose. Why are we here? Presiding Bishop, take it away.
Quite the broad question. Do we have sufficient time? It all began 13.7 billion...
Attention, freelancer. You are currently heading into no man's land. We strongly recommend you return.
Specific. Why are we here in Arcadia?
Ah, yes. Our presence in Arcadia is due to the friendship between the matriarch and our founding presiding bishop. Of course, he was not bishop. This was more than a century ago. Of course, he was not bishop. This was more than a century ago. He had grown disillusioned with the order of scientific inquiry, which he felt had lost sight of the original vision, perfection through prediction. The matriarch appealed to his desire to return to that original vision, asking him to join her in her great enterprise. Together, they would establish a perfect system devoted to humanity's ascension. In exchange, she would finance a computronic machine that would account for every possibility, the Archive. Such a device could never be built on Earth with its paltry resources. So began our sect, the Order of the Ascendant, steadfast in our crusade to solve the universal equation in Arcadia. And that, to answer your listener's query, is why we are here.
What's next may surprise you, but...
I've got your numeral. Keep moving.
And now, a song from a composer predicted to have 3 well-liked melodies and become allergic to water this year.
Generating primes techniques.
Perhaps it would be advantageous to... Do you have a specific matter requiring discussion with me that cannot be postponed? I'm rather preoccupied at the moment.
Music, which I have selected today based on its arithmetic-based harmonic progressions. My name is Edmund Vandersmith.
That's not...
I am the senior...
Yes, your assessment is absolutely accurate. Making a final decision over what to prioritize in the construction of this trench, given my current resources, has been a substantially more difficult task than I first estimated.
Well, consider this a basic refresher course.
Correct. In this case, standardized algorithms, which includes a Poisson distribution method, using the data we accrued from years of tracking the frequency of different attacks. Unfortunately, I find myself in the extremely unlikely and stressing position of having these algorithms inform me that every type of attack is exactly equally probable, and thus my dilemma.
So, prime numbers. What are they?
Many, unfortunately. Anti's human soldiery, raptidons, mantisaurs, scrappers, and even wild arachnids. In summary, many and varied.
That is not itself a product of 2 other numbers in the set M2. A simple definition. Elegant, even uplifting, almost ascendant, you could say, but not...
Alas, I lack the resources and time. I appreciate your input, though. Anti's forces have pushed us from our initial trench line into our fallback trench, thus making it the new primary trench. Despite the fact that we are currently holding back Anti's forces at the new, more narrow front, this leaves us in the unenviable position of requiring a new fallback trench. That being said, we shouldn't need another trench line. Our analysis shows us that Anti simply lacks the resources to push through the current front line. However, there is a vanishingly slim chance that Anti's has more resources in transit outside of the Arcadian system that we simply haven't accounted for yet.
The Archive incorporates prime numbers for storage.
Perhaps it would be advantageous to...
Ultra-efficient system of data.
That won't
as well as
function
using prime
optimally.
numbers in the process of
Well,
checking
we
its
could.
memory.
Yeah, but if they deploy Manosaurs, we'd be better served having it the other way around.
But if you strive to become a numenistics researcher, there are several open questions in the area.
Please keep your behavior within acceptable parameters.
Question is this: is every even member of the set N2 besides 2 a sum of 2 primes? It seems to be so, but no one has ever proven this conjecture. Similarly, are there an infinite number of prime pairs that differ by only 2 in their value? That seems unlikely, but we have been unable to find an upper limit. Perhaps you could discover one of these proofs and become the next senior tenured laureate of the Tertiary Adjunct School of Numenistics for the Order of the Ascendant. Such a lofty, and dare I say, elegant goal. Good dispositions to you all, and good day.
And now, constructually compelling yet categorically veracious statements regarding products researched and designed to increase energy, efficiency, creativity, and focus.
Healthy food can be grown in soil, but even healthier food can be grown in a laboratory. 100% Fabwich. Our Fabwich packaging is as airtight as any proof by the charismatic mathematician.
From the Order of the Ascendant. In times of peril, remind yourself, contentment is found by accepting your role in the grand plan. Understanding your place, knowing your course, removes all worry and doubt. Next up, well, the seers among you already know.
You're now entering an active combat zone. Take all necessary precautions. Attention, freelancer, you are currently heading into no man's land. We strongly recommend you return.
Get to the point and do not vacillate. You've checked and verified your data. Send in your proof. Don't wait for later. You crossed your T's. You've dotted your I's. The only thing that's left is publicize. QED. Quickly elucidate and demonstrate. QED. Get to the point and do not vacillate.
Coming, you earn me a discount at all participating anti-choice vendors.
Earning my kill bonus.
data demonstrate. QED. Get to the point and do not vacillate.
Did that blast give me a dunder? Or is some damn stranger walking into my area of operation right after we've been attacked? You got any reason I oughtn't have you shot?
Sound of scientism. The Office of Hindrance Deterrence and Obviation has posted the following for venturesome pursuers of justice and fortune.
Yeah? And what exactly makes you so sure of that? Huh. Interesting. Did he say who he thinks did hit us? Not that it matters, I suppose. Not like we can muster a counterattack or anything. But even if I did believe you, so what? Seriously? You expecting me to ring up Auntie and tell her, hello, Maven of all marketing? Just letting you know that this scrutinization officer says everything's hunky-dory. You've clearly been out in the Dorado sun for too long. Ah, an offer for transaction. Now you're talking my language. Didn't reckon you was someone sympathetic to our ways. It just so happens we might be able to trade services. Normally I wouldn't admit this kind of weakness. It's bad practice. But I'm really in the squeeze, and you might be useful. Lately my luck's been right miserable. I got enemy sneak attacks. I got grunts murdering each other. I got unsanctioned power struggles. And it all risks reflecting badly on me. You cut down the number of issues that are vexing me, and I'll send you a word of peace and harmony up the chain. What's good for me is good for you, see? Quid pro quo. Or, if all that sounds like too much work for you, there are other ways to curry my favor. Make me believe your good intentions. Encourage me to take your side. That bomb that hit us, it was filled with uranium. So not only did it kill us the good old-fashioned way, it also caused serious poisoning. My contract medicalist over there is literally up to her elbows in it, her hourly rate is ridiculous, and our damn autodocs have gone on the fritz from the workload. You get her the compression coil she needs to make the autodocs work, and that should cut her billable hours in half, and then I'll send your message. There's been a murder at one of our forts. Trooper's accused of poisoning her senior officer for some preposterous reason. Problem is, I'm already short on medical specialists. The last thing I can do is waste one for days just to find out if she did or didn't toxify him. Go find out who done it, and I'll send the message you're asking for. This is gonna make no more sense for me saying it than it's gonna make for you hearing it, but apparently, the senior officer at one of my forts is a mantisaur. A real, actual, pincer-faced, carapace-having mantisaur. Not a half-human one, or a psychic one, or a talking one, just a regular old head-munching mantisaur. Anyways, there's some dispute over who his second should be, and he can't exactly decide himself. So go sort it out for me, and I will gladly send your message. Now you know that's an irrevocable deal, right? As in, please remember it's legally binding, and I will sue you if you fail to get it done. So don't let either of us down.
What in the scrupulous name of profitable deductibles do you think you're doing? Just who are you, and why are you walking through my triage? Help, huh? Well, that would be greatly appreciated. We need compression coils. The attack left more wounded than I have supplies for, plus a hefty amount of uranium poisoning. And the coils on our autodocs have worn out. Without them, they can't convert raw materials into the medicaments needed to help the soldiers heal. As many as you can. There's so much more work than I can handle. It's only by getting these 3 defunct autodocs back online that I can hope to save most of these folk. Auntie dropped extra compression coils in pods from orbit to help our advance, but they landed everywhere. Though I heard some are in the no man's land between the battle lines. Many thanks, but please hurry. These folk ain't got much time.
But don't fret. I've enlisted a qualified substitute, Presiding Bishop Ruth Bizarre. Here she is to field today's query. Why did the Order of the Ascendant split from the Order of Scientific Inquiry? Presiding Bishop, if you please.
I can answer that quite succinctly. Because the OSI had become corrupted. Oh, it started.
My insides, they're on.
Just a small.
What's hotter than fire? They're on lava, they're on Planck plasma, they're on Clive's extra special force.
Then the charismatic mathematician began making his breakthroughs in theoretical mathematics, elevating OSI's predictive pursuit of perfection to a theology, scientism. That attracted outside interests. OSI once struggled to keep the lights on, but suddenly it had corporate suitors seeking to capitalize on scientism, to control the future. Ascension for all humanity was no longer OSI's primary mission. Most regrettably, our sacred tenets fell by the wayside. So when the matriarch offered our first presiding bishop the opportunity to solve the equation here in Arcadia, and for the right reasons, he took it. Our sect split, and thus was the Order of the Ascendant formed.
If you're feeling anxious about what's next, just wait. Things to come have a way of constantly happening. The future is colliding with the present every moment.
The following song has been determined to facilitate abstract thinking and constructive rumination.
It's not enough to say you think so without defending your position. We won't accept a hunch or feeling. An idea based on intuition. Prove it, yes you must prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, just deduce it. A proof is a deducible argument that removes any confusion or a mathematical equation. Logically.
Kindly don't interrupt me. Training Mantisaurs is enough of a headache without answering a stranger's questions.
And logic to cover all the bases and with reason and deduction, so it's always true in all possible cases.
Hello, friend. Welcome to the most beautiful half-built landing platform on all of Dorado. Simple, friend. You see any sergeants barking orders? Any of those spidery crystal critters lurking in the rocks? Any order forces storming the area? No, you do not. The perfect blend of just close enough to the base to be safe, but not close enough for any officers to get nosy. And I still get paid the same as if I was a frontliner. Ah, there's the real beauty of it. They won't. The Order's anti-air guns are a damn sight better than we expected. There's no reason to finish the landing pad on account of nothing can land. Command won't go back to building it until the war is won. Then I'm in no danger of being shot anyways. Maybe I'll even get a promotion for doing such a good job keeping this place safe. Oh, no doubt about it, friend. They've been blasting our landing craft out of the sky right, left, and center. I can't even imagine the total cost of it all. But as long as my bits keep rolling in, why should I care? Someone else is getting demoted for that, not me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to get back to my favorite pastime, doing absolutely nothing and getting paid for it. Can't say I was expecting to see anyone else in these parts for a good long while.
Your theory will be picked apart. Your theory will be picked apart. Prove it, yes you must prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, just deduce it. Prove it, yes you must prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, just deduce it. If you cannot prove it, take your theory and remove it. You must prove it.
Consume in peace, and we won't have a problem.
We hope you enjoyed that melody while contemporaneously.
Honestly, Bradford, I've no notion of how to cool your conniption. Corporate says I'm in charge, so I'm in charge.
You're in charge? Wait, you're in charge? Don't you mean the executive is in charge?
Of course, that's what I meant.
Yes? Who are you? And why are you attempting to steal my utterly invaluable attention? Ah, wonderful! I was hoping someone would bring some sense into this madness. You should go talk to Trooper Wentworth. I'll let him speak for himself before I start speaking for him. Murder? Oh, right. One of the enlisted killed their superior, or something. She's in that cage over there, and Security Officer Abner is in charge of the investigation. Sure, fine. Were I you, I'd do my best not to get eaten as I was bumbling through areas I'm not meant to be in.
Yes, I hope you're not here to apply for employment. I'm already overwhelmed by the sheer volume of peons I'm forced to oversee. And if you're here as a spy, know that the temporary ceasefire is on tenuous footing. So if you stay, it's likely just a matter of time before I'll be stringing you up. Enemy Scrutinization Officer Durbin. What does he want with me? Ah, well, in that case, your business is with both my commander and me. But I'm being rude. Allow me to introduce Strategic Ingestment Executive Wojciech, Senior Most Representative at Fort Endurance. Now you're starting to sound like some of the wagabouts I've got under my command. Why would I be anything but serious? Executive Wojciech has been part of this unit since he was just a pupa. As he grew, he's shown exceptional bravery, stoic stalwartness, and strong leadership. It's earned him promotion after promotion, until our last battle against the Order deprived us of our former chief executive and left him as the senior-most trooper. Okay. The executive welcomes you, but would like to know why Scrutinization Officer Durbin sent you here. There's no dispute. Executive Wojciech is in complete charge of the fort. His orders, which I interpret as his junior officer, are executed without question. My experimental mantisaur graft lets me speak with him as easily as I do with you. He emits pheromones that my antenna can detect. He wouldn't be much of a commander if he couldn't communicate with the troops.
You may have heard stranger stories, but never one quite so full of spratdom.
Designer Bradford, you've been warned about disrespecting the chain of command.
And you've been reminded, repeatedly, that I'm not under your chain of command. I'm technically under the Mantisaur, but that's got nothing to do with you. I just wanted to make it clear to our newcomer that you are full of shit. You've always been full of shit, and you will always be full of shit. So you're best ignored entirely.
That is quite enough, designer. Of course not. I'm just a lowly trooper acting as interpreter. Otherwise, surely these folks would have figured it out by now.
We have all figured it out. Unfortunately, I'm the only one willing to say it to your face.
Yes, well, please excuse our curmudgeonly biologist. She's been a pill ever since the promotion that made Wojciech outrank her. Still, that ugly moment behind us, it's a comfort to my mind that you're here. Executive Wojciech has an assignment we're desperate to have done, but it can only go to someone outside our chain of command.
Ugh, not this crabble scat again. There is zero chance you're right. Zero. And this brilliant assignment of yours didn't go so well for the last group.
No, it's fine. Ignore her. Executive Wojciech can sense that there are some kind of mutated mantisaurs over yonder, and he wants one to raise as his own.
Oh, stop it. The creature doesn't want a pupa. He doesn't want to breed a superior race of mantisaurs. He wants to eat meat, excrete the excess, and be left alone. That's it. Even if he could ask for a pupa from a rival nest, he'd probably just eat the law-be-damned thing to cut down on competition. He's a bug, nothing more. But the only way to prove it to our command is to have you run this fool's errand. Once it's shown to have been a colossal waste of resources, they'll put me in charge.
That is enough. One more word in question of our executive officer, and I'll have you pitched over the edge with the rest of the enemies we've conquered here.
Yes, sir.
We need you to infiltrate the mutated mantisaur nest, secure a mutated pupa, and bring it to me here. Do that, and I, and Executive Wojciech, shall make sure you are well rewarded for your efforts. Look in the nest to the east. That'll have your best odds. It's where Wojciech feels the pull from the strongest.
Feels a pull, Wentworth? Seriously? What am I saying? That makes the exact amount of scientific sense I'd expect from you. Excuse me? May we speak a second? Apologies for my outburst, but I had need to warn you that an earful from Wentworth is akin to sucking on an inhaler full of ammonia.
Hey, what are you two talking about?
Nothing of your concern, Wentworth! Just ignore him. He was clever enough to pretend that graft lets him talk with the beast. So overnight, he upstarted from simple trooper to de facto commander of this installation.
You know it's impolite to whisper, right?
But I've studied him extensively, and it is most assuredly nothing but a play for power.
This is Grand Plan Wireless, broadcasting soothing.
I am. I've watched for patterns of behavior that would demonstrate higher communication, and they don't exist. So, catering to his will isn't going to do anyone any good. Conversely, the scientific value of studying the mutated pupa he wants is exponentially greater than any possible use he could have for it. Bring it to me, and not only will I match any reward he offers, but you'll have the satisfaction of knowing that it will serve a much greater purpose. Wonderful! Scientific discovery awaits your return.
Everything well in hand. I humbly return you now to the previously scheduled program. This is Abbot Newell of Alexandra Monastery, signing off. How was that, Wiley? What? It's still recording? Oh, how do I stop?
So for now,
you, the getting go-getter. I'm offering deals so good they're Welcome to Bonnie's Barely Above Board Battlefield Bazaar, brought to you by Auntie's Choice. We know consumers are highly discerning in how they spend their bits in an active war zone, and I really appreciate you dodging literal bullets to bring me your business. And to show my gratitude, I'm offering you and only you a one-of-a-kind, once-in-a-lifetime, exclusively discounted rate of 4/5 of Auntie's standard profiteering rate.
Observation, you're looking for variables with some relation. You've noticed a pattern, a pattern, a pattern. So you create an equation. So you create an equation. Check your grooves, check them twice. Having an error is never nice. You formed a hypothesis, begun experimentation, and does the new data match your equation? Does the effect follow causation? Does it follow the causation? Does it follow the causation? Check your grooves, check them twice. Having an error is never nice. You must be precise, it's your vocation. When your data looks bad, you'll get a sensation. Every academic knows it, it's numeric vexation. It is numeric vexation. It is numeric vexation. Check your grooves, check them twice. Having an error.
Welcome back to Bonnie's Barely Above Board Battlefield Bazaar, brought to you by Auntie's Choice. What can I get you?
Form a new hypothesis, repeat experimentation. Testing is all evidential confirmation. Check your grooves, check them twice. Having an error is check your grooves, check them twice. Having an error is
Broadcasting cognitive resonance across Arcadia, this is Grand Plan Wireless. And now, with another enlightening missive for the always inquisitive, it's time for Ask Us with Vicar Magsaysay. Someone wants to know, what exactly did the charismatic mathematician teach?
Ah, One can spend a lifetime poring over the mathematician's works and still never grasp every lick and tittle. I'll give you the 60-second version. This progenitor of the order was the first to teach the defined and objective methods that led from the actuational mental stage to one of transcendent thought. He taught how society could reach its full potential and then move one stage beyond full humanity-spanning actualization. A society at that final stage will exceed human consciousness and understand infinity itself, grasping all of the cosmos as a single equation of thought. The universal equation. Time and space and thought will become one to the participants, who will act as a single godlike entity, the source of all causation and the benefactor of all understanding. In essence, nothing will be left to chance. The ascendants will see all that was, is, and meant to be. Humanity is well along this path to omniscience. We can thank the charismatic mathematician for giving us a metaphorical kick in the correct direction.
Stay tuned for what follows. Warning, the following song mentions some actions that are improper, something your fractions should never be.
1, 2, 3, 5, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Function f to the n equaling our starting zen. Function fn minus 1 plus the fn minus 2. In all cases that we know, starting where n is so low. Now you know just what to do. Start the cycle, here's the cue. It's Fibonacci, a sequence largely summing to preceding numbers gives us math that brings us wonders. Find the recurrence relation, get us to sequence summation. It's Fibonacci from Liber Abaci. One, 2, 3, 5, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Gazing upon the golden spiral, a part that's quite so vital, arcing in a circle motion, giving squares to perfect quotient, 0, 1, 1, and again, 2, 3, 5, and 8, and then 13, 21, not 2, 34, we're counting through. It's Fibonacci, a sequence largely define the recurrence relation, get us to sequence summation. It's Fibonacci from Liber Abaci.
The Fibonacci sequence is a sequence in which each number is the sum of the two preceding ones. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 1, 44, and so on and so forth.
It's Fibonacci, a sequence largely summing to preceding numbers gives us math that brings us wonders. Define the recurrence relation.
Hey, stranger! You're one of those... I can't remember. Hey, stranger! Please, you gotta help me. They're gonna railroad me into a guilty verdict. Then I'll be declogging sewer sediment tanks until I'm dead enough to mulch. Durbin! Oh, that's great! He's bound to see the truth of this and let me go. Abner's trying to pin this on me, and it ain't right.
Also, music. Welcome to another installment of Ask a Vicar with Vicar Magsai. A recent inquiry.
But I'm not. Why would I kill the chief? There's no profit in it. I'm not up to fill his spot. And if I was, I'm plenty smart enough to make it look like an accident. My last few reviews were fair enough. We weren't fraternizing. Nobody owed anybody money. I've got absolutely no reason to make him dead.
Strive for the ascendance of all humanity, or the solution of the universal equation. The difference could hardly be greater. So, while we might share methods from time to time, such as the distribution of goods in our case, to help others ascend to greater heights, we could hardly be more dissimilar.
I don't think nobody killed Cuddy. I was there. That's why they think I did it. And he was fine. Well, he was fine up until he wasn't, and then he just swole up and died. But the way he swole up, it's something Cuddy always said might happen. Only it don't make no sense that it happened now. We were eating chow at our post. Cuddy asked me to try his because it tasted funny, but I tried it and it was fine, just like mine. Then he just swole up, turned blue, and died. I made a ruckus, which called everyone in, and all they saw was him dead and me fine. So Security Officer Abner charged me with murder and threw me in here. It was exactly what Cuddy said would happen if he ate Crabble. He was deathly allergic to Crabble. But we ate Sisty stew, fresh from the can. And ain't no Crabble in Sisty stew. Yup. Cuddy had told everybody about his allergy, repeatedly, over and over, constantly. Nobody would have served him Crabble knowing that. But that's still gotta be how he died. So I need you to talk to Security Officer Abner, remind him of the allergy, and let him toss all my gear. He won't find Crabble anywhere. No, that was days ago, and they tossed out the rest of the stew. So I don't even know if the docs will still be able to tell it was allergies that did in Cuddy. He will. He has to. It's the truth. I didn't murder nobody. Please, make him understand.
Hello, and goodbye.
Put it in the memo.
Your thorough appreciation of that song was considered a probabilistic certainty.
Warning, the following song mentions some actions that are improper, something your fractions should never be.
Don't even think about disrupting the marketplace.
2.7 Kelvin, it truly the very fact we found each
Well, what have we here? You couldn't look less Auntie's choice if you tried. So what are you doing in our fort? You happened to speak with my prisoner? Without my permission? Why by law would you do that? And why shouldn't I lock you up for it? Durbin sent you? Why? You certainly ain't a certified pre-inhumation inquisitor. Oh, lovely. And just what is it you think you can do for me? You ain't even carrying a masticating tissue scrutinator. You just gonna guess what manner of poison killed folk? So far as I can tell, it's a simple case of killing to get ahead. Chief Cuddy and Trooper Bardeau were sharing a table for supper. There was nothing wrong with the food. The whole fort ate the same thing. And 10 minutes later, Cuddy was bloated, discolored, and looking all to law like he'd been poisoned. There are no other suspects, just Bardeau. She swears she's innocent, but they always say that. And I can't possibly figure how that could be. Now, I'm waiting for a specialist to affirm my theory, so I can get on with my other 1,000 duties need doing. You wouldn't believe what this mess is taking out of my schedule. What? How could that be? I made the stew myself and every one of us ate it. What? That's ridiculous. It was nothing but canned sisty stew. Stew that I Oh. Oh no. Oh, did you say Crabble? Well, he told everyone that. But that ain't exactly the same as it actually being true. See, Cuddy was what you'd call a complainer. He complained about the food. He complained about the weather. He complained about his bunk. He complained about everything. He's also somebody's nephew. Some junior executive. And if you gave him reason enough to complain about you, he'd take it up with his uncle, and it'd come back down in your head. Law, no. At least, not on purpose. Half his gripes were really nothing but reasons to grouse. But if you push back too hard, he'd run to his uncle. So most of us just ignored him, assuming he was constantly full of it. And didn't think twice about doing things like stretching the stew with canned crabble stock.
Replied, with no hesitation, beige.
What? No, it was an accident. Nobody would have, at least nobody'd mean to. Law, his uncle is gonna see me transferred to mid-operation engine cleaning on the claim. Unless, hey, how'd you like to make some bits? Some real bits? And keep a tragic accident that'll lead to the end of a promising career. Total secret.
How hot objects absorb and emit light, which answers the ancillary mystery of why there are no green stars.
Well, no. Not yet you haven't. See, I can't just let Bardeau go. There'd be questions, accusations, and assumptions as to who was responsible, and that's no kind of solution. And even worse, since there's apparently nobody coming to do an autopsy, I might have to just send Bardot to the claim to start her sentence on all available evidence.
Is its color. However, most stellar objects generate far more radiation than they absorb, so they can be modeled as an idealized object, which is assumed to absorb 100% of all
Absolutely.
and re-emit some based on its temperature and composition. Stellar composition determines what packets of light will be emitted, while stellar temperature determines the frequency of light and hence what portion of the spectrum that light is in. Low temperature emission is mostly infrared and not visible to us without proper instrumentation, which I need not describe here. As the stellar body's temperature...
So we got this thing. An acidic dematerializer that we use to melt mantisaur dung, so it don't call in the local wildlife. But it'll actually work on anything organic. Anything. That means if someone used it to melt Cuddy, there would be no body, which would mean no autopsy, which would mean no evidence, which would end the investigation. I'd do it myself, but my boss said she's on her way for a surprise inspection, so I can't leave. But if you go find one and melt the body, I'll make it worth your while.
Or reddish light too, resulting in a non-green star. There is no naturally occurring stellar...
Well, then she's cleared, of course. No more questions asked. She goes free, you get bits, I get on with my life. Deal?
Interference. And no such evidence of any kind has ever been detected. Let's get back to Newton Odiscard, the famous stellar cartographer. The methodology of the Odiscard's chromospectral survey was straightforward. He partitioned his astronomical field of view into grids, then tagged each object in every grid. He ignored empty regions, as black would
Come on now. You need to reconsider. I'm offering you good bits for easy work. You'll also be saving at least one life from the toils of endless labor.
Tabulator for computation. The subsequent spectral analysis produced a final answer to within 0.5% of the predicted value. And that result was beige. More specifically, in the cylindrical coordinate model of color space, the hue is 42 degrees, while the saturation is a mere 9%, and the value is a full 100%. In more novice terms, while the color tends towards white, the addition of a variety of reds and some blues results in a more beige tone. And there you have it. So go forth, neophytes, and as you study your lessons, stare at the nondescript walls of your library, classroom, or dormitory facility, and exult in the knowledge that beige is also the color of the universe.
This melodious little ditty was dedicated to novice Gertrude Powell. Your nominate admirers taking great interest in your figure work and projections.
Consistency in your work is wonderful. Consistency in playlists is not. Now for a new song.
You're back? Why? Wonderful. Then you should be off to find a dematerializer and dispose of Cuddy's body. Thank law. You'll find Cuddy inside the tower, but you'll have to sneak your way past the guards. It simply wouldn't do for me to announce your intentions to the base. Then come back and tell me when I've got no more evidence to hold Bardot and can draw this whole thing to a close.
Field data validating or repudiating our forecasts and relevant informational details for near present and future calculations. An ongoing prolongation of existence advisory remains in effect for all presently transiting the Golden Ridge region. Utmost caution is highly urged. Refugees and travelers report targeted ambushment by desperate pharmaceutical-addled, chemically dehanced societal cast-offs who have succumbed to a life of pilferage and plunder. Auntie's choice troops have been espied bivouacked in trenches crisscrossing the highlands, and although a ceasefire exists, a healthy degree of circumspection remains advised. Newly introduced invasive species...
Oh, another mercenary. Better get my bits into the betting pool before they get themselves turned into paste.
Travelers are instructed to closely monitor their surroundings at all times whilst peregrinating outside inhabited areas. Those choosing to heed said forewarnings are predicted to have a 14.7% higher chance of survival.
In closing, a potentially incongruent word of advice. Invariably find a way to turn your negatives into positives.
Continuing as predetermined. The following song has been determined to facilitate abstract thinking and constructive rumination.
The spread, illusion, and eventual control of the purple berry parasite. Oh,
Continuing as predetermined. This popular number has been conclusively proven to promote cognitive function.
Probability and the grand plan. There can be no discussion of the grand plan without also entertaining a deep contemplation of probability. Our ability to predict events to varying degrees of certainty is fundamentally rooted in statistical mathematics. Statistics, at its heart, is not but data. Data that is gathered, collated, and subjected to analysis. But what is the role of chance in that analysis? Let's look at the interpretation of pure chance. If one flips a perfectly balanced coin, it will land on heads with a 1 in 2 chance, or tails with a 1 in 2 chance. But are there really 2 outcomes? Is there not one specific outcome? Information, there can be no chance, only outcome. Complete information yields perfect predictions, 100% accuracy, known outcomes. Now we come to one of the most difficult concepts in the order for initiates to grasp. If the result of the flip of a coin is known to be heads, is it necessary to flip the coin? Would it not be more efficient to simply go forward as if it had been flipped and proceed with whatever action that flip was intended to choose? If so, what part of that choice flips a perfectly balanced coin, it will land on heads with a 1 in 2 chance, or tails with a 1 in 2 chance. But are there really 2 outcomes? Is there not one specific outcome we can determine? Yes. With complete information, there can be no chance, only outcome. Complete information yields perfect predictions, 100% accuracy, known outcomes. Now we come to one of the most difficult concepts in the order for initiates to grasp. If the result of the flip of a coin is known to be heads, is it necessary to flip the coin? Would it not be more efficient to simply go forward as if it had been flipped and proceed with whatever action that flip was intended to choose? If so, what part of that choice was ever left to chance? The answer, of course, is no. Flips a perfectly balanced coin, it will land on heads with a 1 in 2 chance, or tails with a 1 in 2 chance. But are there really 2 outcomes? Is there not one specific outcome we can determine? Yes. With complete information, there can be no chance, only outcome. Complete information yields perfect predictions, 100% accuracy, known outcome. Now we come to one of the most difficult concepts in the order to grasp. If the result of the flip of a coin is known to be heads, is it necessary to flip the coin? Would it not be more efficient to simply go forward as if it had been flipped and proceed with whatever action that flip was intended to choose? If so, what part of that choice was ever left to chance? The answer, of course, is none. Only when less than complete information are we reduced to chance. At present, we do not have complete information. Instead, we flips a perfectly balanced coin. It will land on heads with a 1 in 2 chance, or tails with a 1 in 2 chance. But are there really two outcomes? Is there not one specific outcome we can determine? With complete information, there can be no chance, only outcome. Flips a perfectly balanced coin. It will land on heads with a 1 in 2 chance, or tails with a 1 in 2 chance. But are there really two outcomes? Is there not one specific outcome we can determine? With complete information, there can be no chance, only outcome. Complete information yields perfect prediction. 100% accuracy. Known outcome. Now we come to one of the most difficult concepts in the order for initial stress. If the result of the flip of a coin is known to be heads, is it necessary to flip the coin? Would it not be more efficient to simply go forward as if it had been flipped and proceed with whatever action that flip was intended to choose? If so, what part of that choice was ever left to chance? The answer, of course, is none. Only when there is less than complete information are we reduced to chance. At present, we do not have complete information. Instead, we are still forced to deal in probabilities, expected values, and standard deviations, which lead to the dreaded sigma of probability distributions. By necessity, we are forced to estimate outcomes based on assumed distributions of sample populations. Such a travesty. No, not a travesty. Tragedy. A horror. A horror the archive will help us avoid. Every bit of data collected, analyzed, and input by our archivists brings us closer to our goal. To the solving of the universal equation. Probability is not enough. Guesses are not enough. Incomplete information leads to inaccurate predictions, which leads to tragedies. We must not guess. We must know. Help us know. Contribute any and all data you can collect to our proud archivist. And you too can say you contributed to the archive.
You are listening to Grand Plan Wireless, Arcadia's voice of reason.
Greetings, pupils! Your always relatable Vicar Monk Sai is here to subvert expectations with an installment of Ask a Vicar that I'm calling Ask a Vicar to Ask a Presiding Bishop. That's right. Presiding Bishop Ruth Bassar is in the studio to answer a listener question, which I will not pose. Why are we here? Presiding Bishop, take it away.
Quite the broad question. Do we have sufficient time? It all began 13.7 billion years ago when...
Beg your pardon, Presiding Bishop, but I believe this question is a little more specific. Why are we here in Arcadia?
Ah, yes. Our presence in Arcadia is due to the friendship between the matriarch and our founding presiding bishop. Of course, he was not bishop at the time. This was more than a century ago. He had grown disillusioned with the order of scientific inquiry, which he felt had lost sight of the original vision, perfection. The matriarch appealed to his desire to return to that original vision, asking him to join her in her great enterprise. Together, they would establish a perfect society devoted to humanity's essentials. In exchange, she would finance a computronic machine that would account for every possibility, Enterprise. Together, they would establish a perfect society devoted to humanity's ascension. In exchange, she would finance a comprehensive for every possibility. Resources. So began our sect. Enterprise. Together, they would establish a perfect society devoted to humanity's ascension. In exchange, she would finance a computronic machine that would account for every...
Off the ladder and you think that you're stuck. The only loser is the shirker who quits. Your problems can be solved if you spend more bits. Try and try, never settle for less. It's true what they say, money buys happiness. Work extra shifts, you will see later. We've got the goods to make you better than nature. Auntie is the best choice. Bringing back.
just come through an active war zone? Your puzzler screwed on crooked? How's the scavenging out there? Anything juicy?
Glad to be sitting here safely, but I know Command is sending us a cost-effective method for cleaning up this uranium soon.
10% correct. Okay, enough corrections. So we made a few mistakes. No need
exploding thing.
Kick the living. Moving on up. Have a coming for you, lazy bugs. They tossed a boomer. Need to hold on. Just give me the. Can't bash their. From afar. Ah, cats! Gotta hog all the adrena time. Just give me the time.
Another.
gun needs adrenochrome. You ain't worth scrap. Making strides. Realize you're about to die, right? Free explosion for you! Just give me the there's my Gina time! Who there? Shell there! They owed me 5 stim! What? Catch you one of this? I'm a blast! You ain't worth scrap! Got twitchy! Making strides!
yourself now, huh? Just have cobwebs in the app.
Get your drink! Get your Drina time! Free explosion for you! Going to count that! What's that? Kill them! What's that? Gotta check for skokers. Oh, fresh crowd!
Making stride!
find any good scraps today? No, no scraps. Hard to scrap. No, it's really fine.
There best be a stiff bottle waiting for me if I ever manage to make it out of this barrel. Ah, oh no, it's... no. No, I'm really not. There was uranium on my hands when I came in here, and now it's... Why didn't I wash them first? Thanks for the preposterously laden vice. How about you leave me to endure my pulpy penury in peace? Oh, why won't it stop burning?
and I'll show you how a true acolyte fights!
Before it can become everything.
Initiate Carrington, audio log entry 10. My orders were to watch for the enemy. Specifically, to never break line of sight to my assigned field of view. But I can hear them advancing along the shore to the south. It's fine. Others have been assigned that field of vision. This is the most efficient method of defense. Architect, they're getting closer. Perhaps I'm taking my orders too literally. I'll just peek. No. Trust in the equation. Trust in those greater than I in the order. I will keep looking forward for enemies from that vector. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I have faith that the architect...
This one appears to have been too terrified to even look at us. I almost feel bad killing him. Almost.
Everything was...
Straight at them! Show yourself. Seek
wriggling little group fingers of yours. Bring them close so we can chop them off.
.36 cubed divided by the standard rate of fluid flow, and then you multiply by, is it 30 or, oh, hello. I was unaware that Victor, that is, Archivist Clemens, requested aid. Did he? I hope you're here to help regardless. That would be nice. Architect's mercy, thank you. It is so much easier to be polite when I needn't fear all of my bones sliding out of my body. Three days ago, the range was inundated with fiends. Cultists, I believe. I am unaware if they're immensely foolhardy or simply mad, but they've caused no shortage of destruction. I've seen few firsthand, but that isn't because they've gone. Rather, I believe they have become visibility deficient. You can attempt such, but if my current state is any indication, the cultists are unlikely to be sporting with you. There's no such thing as invisibility. I can only theorize that their visual forms were sent out of phase when they haphazardly tampered with pressurized N-rays. It's a shame the facility is in shambles. We've an N-ray scanner device that may render the cultists far easier for one to locate. The scanner is an optical device designed to detect electrical signals and the N-rays given off by all living beings. Visible or not, the cultists still give off N-rays. It was stored nearby. But with the damage to the facility, you'll likely need to use the maintenance vent on the wall there behind the screen to get anywhere near it. Oh yes. He should be below, if he's still alive. Though even if he is, I don't know what state he would be in. He seemed under immense duress before the cultists attacked, and now, well, I don't know. What happens when you pull even harder on an already taut rope? I appreciate your aid. I'm going to wait here and try to prevent my wounds from reopening.
Fear not, my brethren. The eyes of the unworthy cannot behold our transcendent forms. once over. But I'm coming for you!